Hello and welcome to this scene called Moonlight Dreamer. This is from the new Moonlight Dreamers series, nature sheet number 30. And what I'm doing here, right over our figure with the pillow, is stamping out some cloud cumulus. Okay, we're going to build up a nice nighttime sky for this reclining, kind of dozing figure here to be kind of recharging her batteries out underneath a beautiful romantic night sky. Or at least that's the idea here. Okay, so every time I'm stamping out one of my nighttime sky images, I kind of wipe off the perimeter so that it blends in nice and seamlessly and gracefully into the imagery right next to it. I'm going to be stamping out the clouds again, but this time I flip the cloud upside down so that it is bottom lit. The billows are always kind of facing towards the light, so when they're underneath the moon, they face up. When they're over the moon, they face downward. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up some additional sky above these clouds. So I flip my cloud stamp around again, and those billows are facing up, so they'll be illuminated by the starlight from above. The clouds below are going to be illuminated by the moonlight. Here we're stamping out the Milky Way large. These are all in a Prussian blue. It's a real deep navy blue. And by the way, this is on a piece of glossy cardstock here. I wanted to get a nice, deep, rich vibrancy to my colors, so glossy cardstock's a good way to do that. Taking a paper towel with some re-inker fluid on it, using a light blue ink, I'm kind of going around and spreading it around in here. Here's the thing. If you want to retain some of the light on your figures, such as some starlight, reflections of light off the clouds, and if you want your moon to be the source of light within the scene, what do? You just simply don't color it out. If you color it out, they're going to be dark. If you leave something light, then it's going to look like either a light source or reflected light. So it's putting on the brakes with some of your colors so that you don't tone out all of the lightness from the white of the page. All right, just to kind of extend the the range of hues within the scene, I'm putting in a very light application of a pale violet color. This one's Orchid. So you see that little hint of pink in there, and you benefit from the retention of some of that white so that you get a pure version of some color that you will want, you might want to apply in there. You can also apply like a warm beige or something like that. That would have been a good choice too, to give your moon a little bit of a warmth. Okay, and here I'm just doing what I call tipping the edges, kind of putting on a strong vignette with the black ink. Okay, now this is a white pigment ink. I'm going into the light areas, the areas where I've retained, pretty close to the white of the page. I might have put a little bit of blue over the top of it, but for the most part it's still the white of the, the cardstock here. And I'm applying a thin layer of white pigment ink. I'm not doing it in one tapping or something like that. I'm trying to do it in multiple tappings with a very dry application. That way I'm not getting some big blob of ink. A lot of people think that this is some hard process. It's because they take, I don't know, 20 times too much ink on their applicator, and instead of, tapping down a very light application of some medium, they're, putting down a big slathery kind of blob of paint. So if you want a nice light and airy type of application of media, then apply it in a very light fashion. Kind of like how you wouldn't, apply something like a foundation makeup or something like that if it was like super wet on a paintbrush. That's the same thing with this light application with a soft cotton ball. Okay, I'm adding in some foreground images here with a StazOn ink. This is the leaves. And these are done in the StazOn. I felt that it might kind of lift from the background a little bit more, doing it in the solvent-based StazOn as opposed to doing it in another water-based dye ink, which you could do, but I just felt the StazOn kind of give it a little bit more of a three-dimensional look, having a different media for that foreground. Following suit with the reeds large down below, giving it a little bit more of a foundation. I wasn't going to do those reeds down there, but I thought it could benefit from a little bit of extra, oh, I don't know, I guess foreground depth. Okay, this is the use of some acrylic paint pens. We have the blue tones in paint pens. We have the pale violet or pink. And those are the same colors that I used to color my scene with using the dye-based inks. So you follow suit with the, really whatever media you want to use on here. So the acrylic paint pens come in, I don't know, many different colors and many different values of different colors. So you can use those same colors in a thematic application of your color range. Going in here with the final highlighting tool, which is the white acrylic paint pen. This one happens to be a 0.7 millimeter extra fine tip, and you can see it's giving nice crisp highlights. Going in here with some word stamps, I feel that the word stamps really, they go really well with this kind of evocative surface here with the figures and the sky figures and whatnot. So we have Starlight, Dream, and Moonlight coming off the same scenic sentiment set. Here we have it, everything kind of spray sealed and mounted, double mounted, little white and that silver foil cardstock. Going in here with some crystal applications up in the sky. I figured if we want a little bit of extra kind of three-dimensional bling to the scene, giving it a little bit of added dimension, lighting, and texture, we can add in these cheap crystals here, and it gives it a really great look. They come in all kinds of different sizes, and I'm just applying a glue down there first and taking this little jewel picker and adding in those twinkly stars so that you have some really, strong reflected light coming off the scene. Going in here, down below, I'm adding in these orbs just like I did in my previous scene. I figure it's a real dreamy type of scene with this, these reclining figures in here. And I'm adding in that white pen work and then going over it with a little bit of very lightly applied white pigment ink, again giving these little dots kind of a glowing, firefly, lightning bug type of look. I see it as kind of glowing orbs more than fireflies or insects though. And I feel it matched kind of the top with the twinkly stars, having those little orbs glowing down below. And there you have it, my Moonlight Dreamer here. Hopefully you like the scene. Thanks so much for watching.